Hey guys, it's Jimmy and welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about some of the most underrated Oasis songs of all time. So I picked out 7 of these so that I can possibly do another video in the future because there's so many underrated Oasis songs. So let me know in the comments what your most underrated Oasis songs, what do you think of my list? Let's get into it. So the first one is Guess God Thinks I'm Able from Don't Believe the Truth. A really interesting, contemplative little song from Liam. It has been confirmed what this was about. It was written about Noel, and it was when Liam was kind of messing about with biblical imagery because Abel is spelled Abel. Noel got a bit scared, thinking, "Am I Cain? Is Liam gonna kill me?" But for me, I got a different meaning out of it. And it's all about how you get, what you get out of songs. So for me, this sounds like a trepidation of going into a new relationship. I love the lyric, "You could be my enemy, I guess there's still time." I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great lyric of the worry and the doubt of getting involved with someone who you maybe shouldn't. I guess it could be described with Noel because obviously they are enemies now. I'm just a little bit fascinated by this song because I just love the melody of it and I love the sound of it and I love how there's nothing. Liam had this way back in these Oasis days of presenting songs which don't seem like something special, but they really last for you. I think it's just the fact that he's very able to tap into genuine feelings and then he puts them out there in a simple song. But there's more going on than you think on Guess God Thinks I'm Able. I love the kind of the flowing wordplay on it and the interesting melody. So Guess God Thinks I'm Able is the first underrated song. Next track is Underneath the Sky, which is a B-side for the Master Plan, which is a real hidden gem of a song. The experience of being an Oasis fan is you end up just now and again you'll go, "Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one." Like the amount of songs this band didn't release and are just hidden gems, it's incredible. And this is just from that time when Noel was just putting out great stuff after great stuff. And Underneath the Sky is just a really solid rock song. I love the bridge on this song. "All we need is life in a suitcase. It belongs to a friend of a friend." I love that lyric. Very interesting lyric. Kind of about just, going through life without a home, I guess, and uncertainty. I think this might be one of Oasis' best bridges, pre-choruses. It's incredibly catchy and that wonderful little memorable lyric there. "Underneath the sky of red is a storyteller sleeping alone." What a great lyric to start things off. I think Noel deserves to be listed in some of the greatest lyricists. I really, really do, because some of these lines just go over your head, but they're just quite memorable and profound. And you go back and look at them and go, "That's a great lyric." There isn't an especially catchy chorus on Underneath the Sky, and I think that's another one of its strengths. Like literally, and Oasis had a way of doing this. It's just the phrase "underneath the sky" again, repeated several times, but it's really catchy and really sticks in your head. So Oasis don't have to do those massive anthemic choruses. They can be just as catchy with something like this. So I love how this is a subtle but really solid rock song which will still be belted out if it was played live. So I love that. I love when Oasis do this. They take a different approach to being catchy. So Underneath the Sky is number 2. The next underrated song is Be Here Now. I think this song epitomizes the vibe of Be Here Now. Just the in-your-face, unapologetic rock swagger. Wash your face in the morning sun. Flash up at the song that I'm singing. Touchdown base living on our own. I'll make no sweat, I'll go home with your dick in. It captures the excess and, for better or for worse, the in-your-face craziness of Be Here Now. You're immediately hit with this surge of energy, of adrenaline when Liam comes in with that first vocal, "Wash your face in the morning sun." I love how he delivers it. I love his voice on this. I love the pace of the song. I love the structure because the verse is so catchy. It's actually catchier than the chorus. That whole "wash your face in the morning sun" is a great vocal melody. It's actually catchier than the chorus. And I love the kind of whistle interlude between Liam singing and then it goes back into him singing. There's a whistle, and I'm presuming it's Noel, but that's really catchy as well. Everything about it is just catchy, pure, unadulterated, in-your-face, fun rock. I also love the phrase "wrap up cold when it's warm outside." You know, most of the song is nonsense. It's mindless, but you know, when you just want to hear a great fun song from Oasis, Be Here Now is up there. I'm glad Liam's been playing it over the last few years because it's a great song to play live. And you know, a surge of electricity, and it just gets you charged up. And it was the story of that album. You know, they were just trying to do rock, 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 rock all the way through, and it's a great example of it. Next song is one I really want to talk about, very interested to cover, is Flashbacks. This was a B-side from the Be Here Now era, which I actually think is fantastic. I love it. I actually think it's one of the best songs Noel wrote in this period. I don't know if it was written before or whether he wrote it in this period, but either way, it was a Be Here Now B-side, and it should have been on the album. Should have been on the album, because obviously lots of people criticise Be Here Now for not being creative, for just being just crazy rock with nothing really to think about. Flashbacks could have changed that. There's just a really sense of a jovial melody through this, but some really kind of uncertain lyrics running throughout. I love the line, I spend my time sitting on the fence with a mate of mine trying to write the line of the story. I love that. It just captures mundanity and regular people trying to work things out and talking things through with friends and all that stuff that Oasis really covered well, of just being a regular person and pondering, you know, again, sitting there trying to make sense of everything. And it's just a really interesting little bounce to the melody in this. For me at this point, this was a different melody to anything Oasis had done, because it's not fast-paced rocky, but it's not rocky, if that makes sense. It's just a very, very pleasant melody, but the lyrics are actually quite thought-provoking. And I love how a lot of the song is just Noel talking about things and trying to make sense of things, but then there's that line, there's nothing wrong in my world, these things really don't matter. I love that as well, because he's basically sat there letting these things bother him, and then there's a line, these things really don't matter. So it's about kind of realising that a lot of the things you obsess over and a lot of things you try and make sense of, they really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. So I love it. You know, it's just a real kind of sitting there and thinking about life song, but delivered in this happy, quirky sort of melody. Next song I'm going to call underrated, criminally underrated, is Roll It Over. Liam has started playing this in recent years, and it's completely skyrocketed the song for me. Roll It Over is a special Oasis song, and you know, I've said it before, when I reviewed Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, I really glossed over Roll It Over, and I really regret that, because Roll It Over is fantastic. It doesn't make it alright. So roll it over my soul and leave me here. Roll it over my soul and leave me here. It is stunning stuff. And to this day, I still can't really work out why that is. Because it's basically just Liam repeating, roll it over my soul, leave me here. And it could be boring, but to hear Liam shout that out over and over again, there's just a sense of making a statement to the world, a desperate cry. You know, there's also a sense of comfort to him singing that, but there's also a sense of pain to it. And the vocal is incredible by Liam. And the fact that Oasis made this song incredibly memorable and catchy with just that being belted out is just great. I love the whole vibe of it, the whole foreboding, menacing vibe. And a lot of that was running throughout Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. Very underrated. And I just don't really know what to say about it, because really I sit there and I just sit there in silence when I hear Roll It Over. It's one of those songs that just, you know, it just wraps me up and just, you know, washes over me. The next song is Magic Pie. I know a lot of people hate Magic Pie. I know this is a much hated song in Oasis discography. I know that people diss it because they think the lyric is stupid. You see me, I've got my magic pie. But I actually really like that lyric, because you think about it, you can take it one of two ways. You can either take it as, this is ridiculous, what am I listening to? Or, there's no line like this ever by Oasis, and it's memorable. You see me, I got my magic pie. I think that's a creative line, because it's a crazy little line, and it reminds me of kind of the Beatles and the Monkees, strange things they would sing about at times, and they got away with it, so why not let Oasis have this one? There is a real sense of Beatles trippiness running throughout this, just lyrically, but also the vibe of it. I think the melody changes up several times. I think this is quite experimental for Be Here Now. People, you know, who like to say Be Here Now is nothing but the same thing running throughout, I think they miss Magic Pie, because it's actually a song that is actually quite absorbing. You know, it's quite interesting. It takes some twists and turns. It feels like a bit of a pleasant trip, really. Not a bad trip, a pleasant one. I really like the hopeful bridge in this. I'll have my way in my own time. I'll have my say, my star's gonna shine. I love that. That always uplifts me when I hear this. So it is quite a hopeful song that fills me with happiness when I hear it, because that's an encouraging line. I don't know, I just, whenever that chorus hits, you see me, I got my magic pie, I just get energized. I really like it. It's basically experimental Beatles, isn't it? But it's just fun, and it's interesting and absorbing. I like how it kind of trails off at the end into just trippy sounds. I really like that. And you know what? There's no song like Magic Pie, and that might be a bad thing for many Oasis fans, but I think it's a good thing. I think it stands out as this odd little gem. And finally, I'm going to go for Sunday Morning Call. You know, I think this is fantastic. I really do. I think the whole album is Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. I just love how vulnerable it was. I love how Noel tapped into what he was going through and bared his soul on that album. You know, it's a real come down from the party, but just some of the most honest stuff he's ever written. And you know, I think one of the reasons Noel doesn't like that album is because it's real cutting stuff to listen to it. He probably can't go back and listen to it. And I've heard him diss Sunday Morning Call, and I don't get that. You know, maybe it's because he finds it hard to listen to. But Sunday Morning Call, you know, starts off with that vocal melody, which I'm actually fascinated by. It's one of the best vocal melodies I've ever heard, because it doesn't sound like it fits on the music, but it's incredibly well structured and delivered, and, you know, and catchy. And Noel, just now and again, he'll just do a song where the vocal melody is first class. It's up there with some of the best I've ever written. Here's another Sunday morning call. You hear the banging on the door. Slip your shoes on and then out you crawl into a day that couldn't give you more. But what for? And immediately with that vocal, you're just hooked, because it's such a wraparound melody, and it's full of honesty and tragedy in the Noel delivery. You sound so vulnerable here. And I really like in the background the kind of dings and the bells. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what, you know, maybe you can let me know in the comments. I don't know what instrument is causing that. Is it synthesizer? Is it a keyboard? I don't know. But the kind of bleeps in the background really make this song. They're such a good ingredient. It's probably the best production ever done for an Oasis album. It's the best sounding Oasis album. Every song just sounds like its own little world. I just adore the lyrics, you know. In your head, do you feel how you're not supposed to feel? When you start to hear the little voices in your head at night, you will only sniff away the tears as you dance until the morning light. Put your shoes on and walk out the door into a day that couldn't give you more, but what for? You know, Noel Gallagher was on top of the world at this point, and you hear him questioning, what is all this for? You know, I'm going through all this pain mentally, and I'm in stress all the time. This isn't what I expected. And he put it down in a song, you know, and he also references that sort of stuff in Where Did It All Go Wrong? It's some of the best lines about the drawbacks of fame I've ever heard. And some of Noel's best singing ever. I love Sunday Morning Call. You know, it's bleak, it's sad, you know, but it's so honest, it's so cutting. And I know it's jarring for people who just wanted the fun Oasis, but I just love how they had the balls to go there to actually give you an honest snapshot of how they were feeling. So there you go, guys. There are 7 of the most underrated Oasis songs in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below some of your underrated Oasis songs. I will do more because there's so many underrated songs by this band. Let me know what you think of my list, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you're an Oasis fan, if you're a rock fan, if you love obsessing over music. Subscribe and we can talk about it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.